What's up, you guys? Jacob here, and welcome back to another one of my videos. And this video is all about just criticism and principles. And I'm going to kick it off with just saying, don't you hate it when you are trying to get advice from somebody and they aren't even doing or taking the advice that they're giving themselves? It's just kind of hypocritical to a degree. And you can see this anywhere from as simple as being like a basketball player. Somebody's saying that you need to make sure you have good form when you shoot a shot, and they're not even doing that when they shoot their own shots, stuff like that. And that goes from basketball to any other aspect of life, for the most part. And for me at least, whenever I understood this and I was thinking about this, I was trying to make myself as good as I can be in every other area of my life. That way I could give advice on things that I knew about and was an expert in, whatever. But for me, as somebody as a perfectionist and everything like that, I never really had a chance for me to really grasp when was a good time for me to do that. And for me, it was like, okay, well, if I'm going to be the basketball player, I better be like Kobe Bryant before I give out advice. And in that sense, it doesn't really make sense for me to wait until I get to the extremist success. Some people won't even say Kobe Bryant is the best basketball player to ever live. And in that sense, like I at that point, I won't even be able to give advice. So to spin zone that, essentially what I need to be doing is get to a point where I'm good enough to be able to give advice, but then also not me say that I'm giving the advice, but say I'm giving advice based on the principle of this is what you need to do. And the one way I kind of like think about this is that when you think about Chick-fil-A, which I think most people know what Chick-fil-A is, they're kind of like their motto, their slogan that a lot of the workers say is like "my pleasure." Instead of saying "you're welcome" or "no problem," they say "my pleasure." And when they first started saying that, somebody probably didn't wake up one day. Like the founder probably one day just didn't wake up and said, "What? My pleasure, my pleasure, my pleasure." Like it probably wasn't something they were already doing. It was probably something that they had to build in. And instead of him saying, "my pleasure" over and over again, and like people probably calling him out because he was probably a hypocrite at times, he was like, "Hey, do this because this is the principle, this is the standard of what needs to be done." And then slowly he started to do what needed to be done too. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is sometimes when I give advice, I'm also giving advice to myself just as much as I'm giving advice to someone else. So like if I'm trying to give advice to my brother, I might not be the best person or the best whatever the advice I'm giving him in, again, basketball. I might not be the best basketball player, but I'm good enough, better than him, A, and then B, that's the dig of my brother, I'm definitely better than him at basketball, but I'm better than him, so I can give him advice, A, but then I'm also giving advice that's on a standard, on a principle, so I'm following that standard by also giving my own advice to myself, but then also feeding it off to him. So overall, it's a healthy environment. And to go back to the Chick-fil-A analogy, everybody wins in that. So I think it's just kind of a system of trying to get over, imposter syndrome, or the idea of having to be a perfection, ultimate best person ever to give advice. At the other end of that, though, try to, walk the walk, talk the talk. A lot of the best leaders and managers out there are the people that lead by example. So I just think there's somewhere in between where I kind of struggle with, and I think that's something some people could probably relate with for the most part. So hopefully this video makes sense. This is my first video in a couple weeks, so it's probably going to be a little bit not the best quality, but I just wanted to get something out, get back into the rhythm, and I promise you guys I'll get back to this weekly or hopefully bi-weekly schedule again. It's just new job, everything's going busy. But yeah, I'll definitely get back on the grind. Thank you for anyone tapping in that's a subscriber. And if you have not subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe. And I'll see you next week. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.